international arena and is the only way to establish credibility of any laboratory beyond question is for it to be internationally accredited. This ensures that it meets certain internationally accepted minimum standards. Accreditation can prove cost-effective for laboratories as well as for patients. Ensuring quality service means resources are not wasted and that there is no unnecessary testing if patients move from one hospital or one country to another. A credible laboratory also means that test reports are accurate and reliable and that they conform to the requirements of specific tests. I would like to congratulate the laboratories that have already started the process towards being granted accreditation. I expect that you will complete it. It exemplifies a willingness to work with the government to establish world-class standards. I look forward to seeing more laboratories follow in these footsteps in the near future. I wish to commend the government and people of Sweden for the work that has been done in helping Jamaica to establish the agency. Your investment in upgrading our medical laboratories to meet international accreditation standards reflects a sincere commitment on your part to improving the quality of health services that we provide and, by extension, the quality of life of the Jamaican people. As a new agency, I know that there is much more work to be done to be fully functional. You have my commitment that we will work together to make this happen. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Osborne, for representing the Minister of Health, the Honorable Rudyard Spencer. And now, the President of the Jamaica...
And I must say it makes me proud when I see our Jamaican students stand up and perform the way they did. It really makes me proud as a Jamaican. Good morning, all. I'm pleased to be here today to share on this important occasion the launch of the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation. The establishment of this accreditation body in Jamaica is an achievement which I'm proud to celebrate on International Accreditation Day. In today's global marketplace, consumers demand more from manufacturers. The emergence of JANAC will therefore help to reaffirm the quality of our products made in Jamaica, thereby gaining consumer confidence. A national accreditation agency will also help to reassure manufacturers of the competence of our labs, inspection bodies, certification bodies, and conformity assessment bodies to which they are subject. In addition, JANAC will help to encourage improvement among these institutions through continuous self-study and review. From the trade standpoint, JANAC will put Jamaica in a better position to meet international trade standards and will make our products more acceptable by our trading partners worldwide and less vulnerable to being detained at ports and retested. And our minister can attest to all the issues we've been having recently. The establishment of JANAC is an indication that the Jamaican government is serious about establishing Jamaican products as a world-class quality brand and improving manufacturing performance. And so we commend the government on this bold and strategic move. Mr. Prime Minister, I just want to say on behalf of JMA, we thank you for your support, sir. The National Accreditation Body has been a long time coming, and it is a step in the right direction for local manufacturers to access and retain local and international markets. And so on behalf of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association and its member, I say welcome. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister Bruce Golding, Honorable Minister of Investment, Industry Investment and Commerce, Carl Samodo, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, the delegation from CrossQ, Chairman of the Bureau of Standards, Dr. Henry, Mr. Noel Osborne, CEO of the Bureau, Mr. Omar Azan, President of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, Mrs. Osborne from the Ministry of Health, and all other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure this morning on behalf of the Jamaica Exporters Association to endorse the launch of the Jamaica National Accreditation Agency. Having worked as a member of the National Quality Infrastructure Project, I have seen the travails, and I echo the sentiments from Mrs. Domville of the hard work that has gone into the setting up of this institution. The imperative of trade and securing our markets requires a world-class trade infrastructure, and the Jamaica National Accreditation Agency provides Jamaica with that opportunity. On behalf of the members of the exporting sector, and we are working assiduously under the astute guidance of Minister Samuda to strengthen the export sector through the implementation of a 5-year national export strategy. I can endorse and echo the value of having an institution such as JANAC. We recognize the importance of having exceptional goods and services of undisputed quality going to the partners with which we trade. And so this morning, I join with all the export sector and all the other organizations represented here this morning in recognizing the work of JANAC and wishing them every success. We commit to working with you to ensure that our goods are of first-class quality as we seek to build the export sector and to enhance this sector's contribution to Jamaica's economy. Thank you.
Bruce Golding.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and that is intended to embrace each and every one of you. The launch this morning of the Jamaica National Accreditation Agency, or Agency for Accreditation as it is properly called, is much more significant than is readily discernible. It brings us to a stage of an evolving and inescapable reality that the days of sovereign, isolated, parochial markets are fast disappearing. That it is trade that drives economic activity and provides the energy for economic growth. History has not fully recorded the impact that was made and the legacy that was left by Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, Francois Mitterrand, Helmut Kohl, and indeed Mikhail Gorbachev. They led the world, despite the tensions and the conflicts, they led the world into a completely new era, which saw the end of the Cold War, the collapse of the Berlin Wall, the dissolution of the Russian Federation. We were ushered into a new world in which international relations were determined not by politics but by economics, where economic activity was defined by the market, not by the state. The World Trade Organization and all that that connotes was a natural consequence of that process. We entered an era in which global markets, plural, were transformed into a global market, singular. And it has vast implications for economies across the world and economies like Jamaica, because we are now in this huge marketplace where we're not located separately and distantly from each other, in which each of us, each country, is but a stall in a huge marketplace in which the customers roam freely. That's the basis on which we have entered into various trade agreements governed by the general provisions of the World Trade Organization. We have seen the emergence of the European Union, a huge market of 450 million people. We have entered, as you know, into a free trade agreement with the European Union. And there are other free trade agreements that have been entered into between various countries and various blocs of countries. But this new global landscape that we have found ourselves in requires a regulatory structure. Markets have proven that they're not capable of regulating themselves. There need to be systems in place to ensure that markets function properly. The current global crisis is a startling example that markets can't be left to their own destructive designs, that there needs to be systems in place that ensure that the playing field is kept as level as possible, that activities are conducted transparently, and that the odds are not stacked against particular players. And it is in this context that we have had to confront a number of barriers to trade, a number of dysfunctionalities in the workings of this new market that represent serious impediments to economic growth. And one of those barriers has to do with the application of standards. Now, in that sense, it is both a natural phenomenon and it is also a deliberate contrivance. It is natural in the sense that markets need a frame of reference. If we're going to be trading in goods, there needs to be some means of ensuring that the goods that are traded are what they are supposed to be, that they support improved quality of life, that they meet standards that are universally agreed, that they are products that inure to our safety, that they represent a quality that is commensurate with the price that we pay. And it is in this context that one of the major issues that come up in trade discussions at all levels have to do with phytosanitary issues, whether or not your product is safe, whether I can give my children the thing that you have sent here from thousands of miles away in a bottle, whether the labeling that you have put on it accurately describes what is in it, whether you are manufacturing that particular product to consistent standards, or whether you're simply doing it to satisfy the limited regulatory quality assessment that is applied, but beyond that, you are free to do as you like. So that, in a sense, that's natural. That's a natural concern that we want to, that we must insist that certain standards are obtained. But in this new trade regime that we are in, the uncertainty about standards, the lack of universally accepted standards, the lack of agencies that can be relied upon to maintain certain standards in the standards that they certify. That has become a tool that has been used to undermine the effect of liberalized trade. And therefore, another issue that comes up